Good morning, everyone.
But
So
that's
we're talking
okay.
about being overwhelmed with self-care.
When I get overwhelmed or super busy, my self-care goes out the window. Like I forget to brush my teeth, I forget to take showers. Like I never was that person. I had like a nighttime routine. I took showers, I did the thing. Now I have kids in my house, so then there's more people on the shower schedule. And yes, you have to have a shower schedule. So mine is the one that's lacking. My husband, the kids, everyone takes theirs. Mine is the one that's lacking. And I couldn't figure out, like, there's a lot of shame around that. Like, I'm not showering? Like, what? So I figured out something that helped me, and it's helped a lot of clients. Most women don't wash their hair daily anyway, just because one, it's scientific, you don't have to, and two, like there's all that styling and stuff like that. So my overwhelm with showers was because my hair, like I didn't like the way wet hair felt. I didn't like if I washed it, it took 100 years to dry it. It had to do all that. So I told myself when the self-care overwhelm is super, super bad, it's like we'll take a shower and we don't have to wash our hair. So I would take a shower and I didn't do that. And then if it was I needed to wash my hair, then I do it separately and like in the sink because then I didn't have to get my skin wet. It's a thing, I know, but that was what I did. So I would take showers, so I washed all my skin and did that because I could handle that. But I would leave my hair up so I didn't have to. And then later on that day when I had time, if I needed to wash it, I would wash it in the sink.
I think for me, one of the biggest realizations, that's the word I was looking for, with self-care was that I had good, better, best days. On a good day, I only stand under the water. No soap, no nothing. I stand under the water. That's it. Yes, that may be
Awesome.
gross, but it's like my brain needs to get that message that I'm starting my day. And with having, since having short hair, especially, my hair will stand on end in the morning. I have to get it wet. There is no, there, I have tried everything. I have tried everything. Nothing will make it lay down flat once it's standing on it. That's all there is to it.
Funny, I used to have a pixie haircut and I loved it. But when you have short hair, you have to fix it every single day
Mhm.
because it stands on end and it does like crazy things. And so that was one of the reasons, like that, and you have to get it cut all the time to keep it in shape. So that was one of the reasons I let my hair grow to like a shoulder length bob. And prior to all of that, I had super, super long hair, which super, super long hair, or you have to fix it every day, or it just always ends up in a ponytail. So it's like
So
great.
some days I stand under the water. Some days I do an everything shower. But the everything shower days are once a week, twice a week, maybe. And the everything shower for me is the facial scrub and the body scrub and the loofah and the moisturizing wash and the all of the things. Most days are better days for me, and I do use soap and I wash my hair. And I'm partially Italian, so washing my hair every day is actually a necessity because my hair looks really, really gross otherwise, because it's very, even into my, I was hoping as I got older, because people say your hair dries out and stuff. No, that has not happened to me yet. So I have very greasy, gross hair, and dry shampoo is the most disgusting thing in my world ever. I've tried it repeatedly and I hate it and I can't touch it and it smells bad and it feels nasty and I just can't do it. So a lot of
I
it
get it.
when it comes to self-care is just knowing what your sensory triggers are.
I mean, like, I forget to brush my teeth until my teeth feel gross, and then I brush my teeth.
Mhm.
So what we do at our house is the other reason we started the bedtime menu or like the in so in a dry erase marker, I wrote it on the mirror and it's like these are the things. So everybody knows the menu is for everybody. Teeth, shower, all that stuff. And then I remind my son, I'm like, hey, don't forget to brush your teeth. And he has a little bit of PDA. So he's just like, oh, like I was going to do the thing. And then you reminded me. So I just put the menu on the mirror and I'm like, hey, don't forget to look at the menu, make sure you've done all your stuff.
It's always that checklist thing. I have them. I've told you guys I have a checklist in my bathroom because if I don't, I forget to do the most simple things. And there are days I don't need to look at it. There are days that it's just a
Right.
habit and I go through and I do all of the motions without having to think about it. That's not most of the time, but I do have good days like that. I saw a post in a Facebook group this weekend that was just heartbreaking to me. And I wish I could find it again because I did comment on it. Oh, I'm actually looking for it, guys, because it was heartbreaking to me.
I think a lot of us have so much shame around this. It's like, it's hard to get up in front of people and be like, yeah, I get a lot of overwhelm with taking a shower. So, like, sometimes I don't.
So this person got a list from their therapist of things that they needed to do. I found it. Create a structured routine, utilize time management techniques, implement organizational skills, minimize distractions. And she was really angry that her therapist sent this, but her therapist sent it because she was missing that her therapist said, these are the things we're going to be working on. So her therapist absolutely gave her an outline of the things they're going to be working on. And this woman is like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that because and like, I would rather have autism with my ADHD than a nonverbal learning disorder. I can't learn how to do that. I can't learn how to do that. And I'm like, oh, honey, yes, you can. You need help. Absolutely. But you can learn to have structure. And we hate structure. We have a freaking hard time putting structure in place, like a really freaking hard time putting structure in place. But we can get to that point. And when you have structure is where ADHDers and AuDHDers find success, is extreme structure. We also fight against it. So we have to have variations of structure. You can't just have the same extreme structure because we also have PDA. So we don't want to do that some days. And that's fine. And it's as long as you understand that that's fine, but your goal needs to be to have good days, not wallow in the bad.
Well, and it's that deal about giving yourself grace. I know people say that all the time, but giving yourself enough space to realize that most days are moderate, right? Most days
Mm-hmm.
they're moderately good or moderately bad, but it's still kind of this, they're moderate. We survived, we got a few things done. That is a successful day. Those perfect 100% days are kind of a fairy tale. If they happen, it's lightning in a bottle. It doesn't happen all the time. And those really, really bad, like, I hate everything about my life days are also in that very rare thing. Like they just don't happen as much as we think they do. We just dwell on negativity, so we feel like they happen all the time. But if you charted them, the really 100% days and the super super low 0% days, those don't happen much. Most people live in the middle.
And middle is fine. I
Yeah.
don't, we live in a world, especially if you are in the US, we live in a world that expects us to have those perfect days all of the time. Like the world is assuming that that's a possible thing. And I'm going to tell you whether you're ADHD or not, that should be a once every 6 months, once every 3 months things. And the honest truth for women, that happens probably once every 45 days. And yes, I've mapped this out because I like to track things. Once every
That's
45 days, we have
probably
one of those perfect days.
like it's probably the stars align with your hormone cycle and everything else like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's redefining what a successful day is.
Yes.
Because those middle level days are success because we're having those days consistently. You may not check everything off your to-do list, but you're checking one or two things off your to-do list. So you're like, that's still a success. And success for most of us looks messy. It doesn't look like an Instagram story because those things are curated.
Those things are curated. It is even neurotypical people don't have them as often as it looks like on social media. And we're normal, average people. And that's a good thing to celebrate. We are not the Serena Williamses of the world or the Beyoncés of the world. We are not. We don't live in that world. And they have people that do all of the things for them. They have people that are their executive functioning skills. We can't afford to buy all of those people because when you can afford to buy those people, taking the everything shower every day is possible. Having the perfect schedule in your house always being clean and your laundry always done is they hire people to do that.
Yeah. And okay, Danielle knows some super, super successful, like mega high powered people. They don't just have one assistant, they have three.
They have 12. Okay, my mentor person has 12 assistants. 12.
It's
They each
fucking
have their own
brilliant.
specialty. And he's more ADHD than I am. But he has 12 people to make sure that all of the things happen and make him do the things. He has one assistant that sits next to him to write his emails. Not they don't write them for him. They sit next to him and poke him every time he gets off track. Like that's their job. We can't afford that.
Okay, so how amazing is it that he has someone specifically for that? No, I can't afford that. Most of us can't, but we can body double, we can ask for support, we can do all the things that like the real folks do, like no one's living at this billionaire level with his 12 assistants and his email poker.
I mean, seriously, I pick on him for that. So I went to college with him, so I knew him when. But it's understanding that all of those things that you see online, even if it's the mid-level, higher middle class person, they are staffing some of their executive dysfunction. I
Oh,
mean, I have friends that have housekeepers, somebody who does their lawn, somebody who does their laundry, somebody who does all of their grocery shopping and planning out their meals for them. And that's all they do. That's all they have. That's all they have. I put that in quotation marks. But how much overwhelm and executive functioning skills is somebody else doing for them so that they can do other things? That's huge. We need to be in the reality of what is obtainable and what is actionable every single day. And you guys hear me say that consistently. What's obtainable, what's actionable for you today? That's the thing you always have to keep in mind is what is obtainable for you today, not yesterday, not last week's Vida, today's Vida. What's obtainable today?
you guys ever read this book?
I actually have not read that one. It's
It's
on my
really
list
good.
though.
It's really good. It's set up in little like bullet pointage like vignettes kind of. There's pictures. Clearly I've been crazy with it. But anyway, so I just kind of jumped around in it, but it talks about all the things that we talk about, like outsourcing if you can, stuff like that. But one of the first chapters I feel like is so important for people because it talks about how life is so much more complicated than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30, 50 years ago. So people, especially in the United States, people get stuck in this nostalgia. And I really feel like it is this like the weird 1950s nostalgia, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we should be able to do all these things. Okay. So in this first couple of chapters, he talks about well, it's Judith Kohlberg. It's a woman. She talks about when you went and picked out a pair of jeans in 1950, there was one kind of jean, just one, and you just picked out your size. She goes, now when you go pick out jeans, there's infinite choices. And she goes, so you'll just stand there at the wall of jeans looking at the infinite choices. She goes, and this is what has happened to lives in the world, but especially in the United States. So 1950s nostalgia, everybody's like, but there was only one kind of jeans to pick. Only one. The decision was easy. Do you want jeans or not?
Well,
She goes,
even
and
if
now
you
it's
went
like this.
to the store to buy a dress. Now you look at the dress area of a store, and this is when dresses were the thing that people wore all the time. Did you know you only had three styles to choose from? End of story. They might be different colors. You might have a lot of colors and patterns to pick from, but you only had three styles to choose from. End of story. You went to the store to buy makeup, and the makeup section in a store was one tiny little section. You
It's
went to buy shampoo, and you had Ivory bar soap and maybe one other kind of bar soap. There wasn't all of the like choices are an overwhelm.
Well, and it's the same for it's the amount of stuff we have too, right? Because like my kids struggle really hard with their laundry, but they also have clothing I could outfit like a middle school, like I have that much clothing, So it's like I was talking to my husband today. I was like, they'll freak out, but I need to show them how to do a capsule wardrobe because they can manage that. Like if you only had 14 outfits and 14 pairs of underwear and 14 pairs of socks, that's much, much easier to maintain than closet full of clothing
Mhm,
that half of doesn't get worn anyway because they
mhm.
can't ever find it because it's in a laundry basket. I mean, just my suggestions for self-care overwhelm is basics. You know, when things get super overwhelming, like Danielle's best, better days, good, better, what is it? Good,
Good,
better,
better,
best.
best
Yeah.
days.
So, like, sometimes we're just standing under the water.
And that's okay. I think that's one of the big things that people have to realize is that perfect is never what I'm working towards. I'm working towards having a good day. Good is my goal. So if I have a better day, I feel amazingly accomplished. I'm looking for a good day though. I'm looking for my minimum day. Obtainable action. What is obtainable action for my brain today? What's obtainable
Okay.
for you today? What are you able to do? Jessica says having accountability buddies. This is the whole reason that we have
Right.
ADHD upgrade is because we have a community where we have a daily intention thread in the community. So there's a chat intention thread. And then we have body doubling 4 days a week that is staffed by a coach. And then we have unlimited body doubling for you to pair up. It's not managed by anyone. You could just hop in and out as you need. So you get as much accountability partnerships as you need. And it's really a partnership because the more you work with somebody as a body doubling person, they're going to be able to get in and, oh, how did that go for you last week? We were talking about XYZ and were you able to get that done? And you're going to start building strong community relationships.
Because, okay, and think about this. Rich people outsource their things, but we can still do things like that. We just have to rely on our community. It's the whole, like, it takes a village kind of thing. It does. We just don't get to pay like an army of people for their service. We just have to figure out what we can do and what we need to outsource within our community, within our house, within our friend group, and how we can all help each other.
So one of the big things, and I think we often forget this, is part of how why we're so overwhelmed, why we're frustrated, why we're exhausted, all of that is decision fatigue. This is what a body doubling in a community like ours is for, is to help you get past the decision fatigue piece, because anybody in the world can help you with that piece. And sometimes that decision fatigue is, I'm tired and I don't know what I should get done today, and somebody like me or anybody else on the call, because it doesn't have to be an ADHD coach, can say, oh, I've done XYZ. Why don't you do that? Decision fatigue gone. I don't know what order to do things in today on my task list. Okay, here, do this one. Just removing those pieces is removing overwhelm instantly out of your life just by talking to someone and having support.
We're here for that. So if you need support today, drop it in here, drop it in our community. We are here to help you get back on track. And there's enough of us in here, even if I'm having an off day, Danielle's on it, or if Danielle's having an off day, I'm on it, or somebody else picks up the slack, because that is the real secret sauce of the community. There's always somebody having a decent day.
Yeah, there's always somebody having a good day. Somebody else can step up and do the thing without losing your mind. And it really comes down to that, without losing your mind, having somebody else who's having a decent day so that you can just have a better day. Because when I'm overwhelmed, somebody else can take overwhelm from me. I don't care if it's making a decision of what task I'm supposed to do next, or telling me to order dinner, or reminding me I don't have to do all of the things. Because often that's all we need, is somebody to remind us that we don't have to actually do all of the things.
Yeah.
That's it. I hope you all have a good day today. I hope you have a good day today. Good, better, best. I hope you have a good day today. I'm wishing you a good day
Yes.
today. Just take a good day. Good day is all we need today. Have an amazing one. We will see you tomorrow morning.